What's up YouTube, it's Zapdos TCG here and welcome back to our TCG deck profile video on my channel. Today we will start our adventure into the post-rotation content. This is going to be including cards from Evolving Skies coming out on 27th of August. So be sure to stick around for, of course, booster openings of Evolving Skies and more stuff like that. This is going to be Shadow Rider Calyrex VMAX, but before we go into this deck profile, we're actually going to be talking about these new sleeves. We are actually using the dual sleeves from Dragon Shield this time around. The back is yellow, of course, and the front is black. So ideal for Zapdos colors for my channel. And I have to give a huge shout out to Dragon Shield, our sponsor today. So dragonshield.com, there's a link in the description below for these products. So lightning matte dual sleeves, and they are very, very cool to use. And the thing is that the inside is black and the outside is yellow, which is super nice. So on the front, it is going to be black. And on the back, it is yellow. They also have them in different colors. A whole variety of colors are available. Whether you're looking for blue sleeves, green sleeves, pink sleeves, they have everything. So be sure to check it out on dragonshield.com. Without further ado, let's just get into this deck profile. And yeah, the main attacker is, of course, Shadow Rider Calyrex VMAX. A 4/4 line is going to be necessary because, of course, pre-rotation, people already playing 4/4 line just because of the crazy ability Underworld Door. What you want to do is get out as many Shadow Rider Calyrex VMAXs as possible so you can abuse Underworld Door, attaching a psychic energy from your hand to one of your bench psychic Pokemon. And if we do, we can actually draw 2 cards with that. It also stacks, so let's say you get 3 of these out, you actually get 6 cards you can draw if you have psychic energies in the hand. And Max Guys actually is able to dish out 10 damage plus 30 more for every psychic energy attached to all of your Pokemon. So very high damage output in the late game, but we have even a bigger attacker in this deck. Well, you're gonna see that later. So 4 copies of Shadow Rider Calyrex VMAX right here. I know we are weak to darkness, so we actually implemented attack cards just to cover our weakness. Right now, as you can see, these sleeves are just feeling so nice. Be sure to check them out, dragonshield.com. Use the affiliated link down below. So we have 4 copies of Shadow Rider Calyrex V. The cool thing is that this also has Shadow Mist, which means you can slap 10 damage and the opponent cannot slap down a Stadium card. This could be useful if you want to prevent the opponent from slapping down Path to the Peak. So if you want to just note that down, that's going to be awesome. You also have the Astral Barrage here, being able to snipe 50 damage, actually 5 damage counters on 2 of the opponent's Pokemon. So that's also very interesting, which actually can get some KO. So there's going to be a 4/4 line of Shadow Rider Calyrex VMAX. Our other attacker in the list is going to be Alcremie. I suggest adding a 2/2 line of Alcremie VMAX in here. Metal decks will not be as prominent as they were pre-rotation. In the past, we had Luke Metal, we had ADP-zation and all that. After rotation, the metal weakness will not bother us too much. And also you have a different weakness. Instead of having a darkness weakness, you have a metal weakness, and this is able to actually one-hit KO a lot of Pokemon in the game. The multiplier of G-Max Whisk actually is 60 damage. Discard any amount of energy attached to all of your Pokemon you want, and then 60 damage for every card you discard from those Pokemon. So in general, if you can get 6 energies into play, you one-hit KO anything in the game. So a 2/2 line of Alcremie VMAX. So very, very cool to have a 2/2 line. You just never want to have them priced, so that's why there's a 2/2 line in there. As for the other psychic Pokemon in this list, we're going to be having 1 copy of Cresselia. Cresselia with the Crescent Glow is going to be able, if you go second, get some more energies into play, which is something I do love. You also have Photon Laser, which works out against stuff like the Decidueye, so there's also that. Next is going to be the new Articuno. Galarian Articuno is a card coming out in Evolving Skies, and it has the Cold Charge ability. When you slap it down from your hand onto the bench, you can actually accelerate 2 psychic energy cards from your hand to it. And that also means you can get more damage output for Alcremie VMAX, or you can just get more damage output for the Max Guys of Shadow Rider Calyrex VMAX. Not only that, it also is having sniping capabilities, 120 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon, and this also is very cool. You have to discard your energies, but we're having ways to get our energies back. And the cool thing about this attack is that you can slap down on stuff like Flaffies, maybe on Drizzles. It doesn't matter. You're gonna have some cheeky prize cards here and there with Galarian Articuno, and that's also a very cool thing for sure. So getting a lot of energies into play. We have Underworld Door, Attach of Turn, Cold Charge. You have so much energies into play, so that can burst very nicely. Definitely a one-of in this list. And then last but not least is Pumpkaboo. With the pumpkin hole, if you slap it down on the bench, you can actually discard a stadium card and play. Sometimes when you're stuck and you have a quick ball or a fog crystal or something like that, you can actually get rid of an opposing path to the peak, which actually shuts down the ability of the Shadow Rider Calyrex VMAX. So that's why this little fella needs to be in our deck, so we can search it easily, get rid of path to the peak, and start using our busted ability once more. Moving forward, we're gonna have some more cards. There's two more Pokemon that I wanted to be talking about. Is Galarian Zapdos. We're gonna be running some Aurora energies. And in a format without G-Axis, Galarian Zapdos is just a monster. That's why I also implemented it in here. This is going to be allowing you to slap 170 damage and also discard a special energy from your opponent's active. And you actually can use this for a single Aurora energy if the opponent has at least 3 V Pokemon in play. Think about Crobat, Eldegoss, Zacian, Shadow Riders, Eternatus, so a lot of stuff. This also is your Eternatus counter, by the way. So one Zapdos, Galarian Zapdos, and then one Crobat V just to draw some cards. Sometimes in the early game, I love using Crobat just so you can get more Shadow Riders into play. We want to search your Quick Balls and your Fog Crystals. Then we're going to go over to the supporters. Now, here is our supporter line. You're going to see that in a lot of post-rotation decks is just 4 research for Marnie 3 boss. It's going to be mandatory in most of the deck list. So yeah, Professor's Research, very strong to dig through your deck. Discard your hand, draw 7 fresh cards. The best supporter in the game, in my opinion, and it allows you to dig very deeply. If you want to search out for a specific Pokemon you want, maybe you want to have more energies, maybe you want to dig for Aurora energy, it's going to be good. Next is going to be Marnie. Marnie is just super disruptive, putting the opponent to a 4-card hand while you can get a fresh hand of 5. Both players shuffle their hand and put it on the bottom of the deck. So you also put some resources on the bottom from the opponent, which is super nice, disruptive, and allows you to just draw deeply into the deck. So you just want to have draw support, man. That's 4/4 of these busted supporters. And then last but certainly not least is Boss's Orders. You might even think about adding in a 4th copy of Boss's Orders and maybe cutting down Pumpkaboo or whatever and adding in Necrozma V. I've also tested that out, and then you need a 4th copy of Boss to threaten the crazy attack of Necrozma V. But for now, 3 copies seems to be sufficient in today's list. Yeah, there we go. Next, we're going to be talking about the item cards. It's going to be very nice and easily. We're going to be running 4 copies of Quick Ball. This is going to be the way you search out your basics. So that's almost, I guarantee it's in every deck in most decks at least. So yeah, 4 copies of the Quick Ball. Definitely necessary to draw. Yeah, you can draw with Crobat. You can find your tech card like Galarian Zapdos. But more importantly, you want to have your early game Shadow Rider Calyrex V in the bench. And next is going to be Fog Crystal. 4 copies of that as well. This searches out your basic Psychic Energy from the deck or a basic Psychic Pokemon. You can get your Alcremie, you can get your Pumpkaboo, you can get your Cresselia, you can get your Galarian Articuno. So many good things, and you also can get energy. So I think you want to have in your opening hand some Quick Balls and Fog Crystals so you can get some Shadow Rider Calyrex V, and then the deck pretty much draws by itself. Moving forward, 3 copies of Evolution Incense. Easy to search your Alcremie VMAX at the right time, but more importantly, you want to have Shadow Rider Calyrex VMAX up and ready to go in no time. So 3 copies of the Evolution Incense on top of it. Then some switch outs. There's 2 copies of Switch and 2 copies of Air Balloon. You don't need more just because there's no longer the issue of, oh no, they're gonna tandem shock me and I'm paralyzed and all that. So Air Balloon, you might even think about cutting down 1 switch for a 3rd copy of Air Balloon. That is just by playtesting. I didn't actually find it necessary to actually play 2 switches, but the switches can of course get the Alcremie VMAX out of the active position if you have to discard all of the energies, because Alcremie VMAX does have a whiffy crazy 3/3 cost. So 2 copies of Switch, 2 copies of Air Balloon, and then we're going to be talking about the trainer, actually the stadium card. And post-rotation testing, I have seen that not a lot of stadium cards are very good. We have Path to the Peak. That's about it. There's of course for single strike decks, they have of course the Tower of Darkness, and for rapid strike decks, you have the Tower of Waters. For regular decks, Training Court is just the best answer here, just because you discard energies with Articuno if you snipe, you discard energies with Alcremie VMAX. You want more energies if a Calyrex with a lot of energies goes down, so Training Court is the best answer here. And you also want to have 3 copies just so you can bump Path to the Peak. Maybe your Pumpkaboo is priced, so that's that. 3 copies of Training Court. Moving forward, we're going to be talking about the energies. 3 copies of the Aurora Energy. This is going to be very cool because it works for every Pokemon. And it also allows you to discard a card from the hand. Something I love doing is using Aurora Energy, discarding a Psychic Energy, and getting it back instantly with Training Cards. So this is going to be necessary to fuel your Galarian Zapdos so you can poke those Eternatus VMAXs if you happen to come across them. Then, last but not least, is our basic count of energies. We are running 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 basic Psychic Energies. These are more than efficient to work out in our defense because we have Fog Crystal to search them out, and we have none other than the one and only Training Card to get them back. So this is our post-rotation Shadow Rider Calyrex VMAX deck that I have been working on for the last couple of weeks. It is performing quite well, very consistent, one of the most consistent decks in post-rotation. You have lots of options. You can snap with Galarian Articuno, you can slap with a Caracelia onto stuff like Altaria and Decidueye. If you're still worried about the Decidueye matchup, add in one copy of Phoebe and maybe a Palpad if you find the room for it. But yeah, you don't actually have to overtack. This is just very tacked out already with Galarian Zapdos. So if you're seeing Eternatus, you're going to be happy. If you're seeing Urshifu, you're going to be happy. So it's a good thing to be playing this deck. So anyhow, hopefully you guys enjoy our first post-rotation deck profile on the channel. If you did, be sure to let me know by destroying the hell out of the like button. It helps out in many ways. And I'll definitely be making more. So be sure you are subscribed so you don't ever miss out. As mentioned, if you are looking for these fancy sleeves, as you can see, the back is yellow. The front is black. You can get that in all different colors. Go click the link in the description below for Dragon Shield dual sleeves. They are now released up on the market, and they are very new, and this is exactly what you need to start the new season. Also, be sure to check out our other sponsors, PoketownStore.com. If you're looking for TCGO code cards, they will have Evolving Skies up on stock very shortly. And also go check out cardmarket.com if you are a European player, so you can buy and sell cards to people all across Europe. And last but not least, yourplaymat.com gets you covered. The playmat that I used in this video was created on yourplaymat.com. Create your own unique custom playmat by clicking the link in the description below and get 10% of your complete order. So anyhow, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I'll see you guys tomorrow with more Pokemon TCG post-rotation content. I'm out. Peace.